Everybody, so I'm back with a video, and it's going to be different from any of my other videos that I want to be focusing on, which is my move to LA. I'm going to make a video today about me in my celibacy journey. So basically, since I was a young girl, before I even knew anything about sex or anything, I grew up in a Catholic church in a Catholic school, and they would talk about the Virgin Mary and how immaculate she was. And I was just like, I want to be like that. I want to be pure like that. And I knew that she was a virgin. I really didn't understand what virgin was, but I wanted to be that. And unfortunately, I wasn't that for too long. I lost my virginity at a young age. I dated a guy in high school throughout the whole time in high school. And it's just been a struggle for me because I always had a boyfriend for long periods of time. So I always told myself, well, when we break up, I'll go and be celibate and start all over, re-virginize myself or whatever they call it. And it just didn't work out like that because I always wanted to fill that void of wanting to be loved and just have somebody. And I don't know where it came from. I grew up in a family where my mom is a single parent, and maybe the fact that my dad wasn't always around, it just made me yearn for a man. I don't know. But I was a young, naive girl. I had so much going on for myself. I didn't need love, but I didn't have anybody to tell me that. And then growing up in a Catholic school, they didn't have sex education, so I didn't really value sex because I didn't know how important it was to hold on to my virginity. So I so for many years I struggled with being celibate. But I always had it in my heart because God had placed it there and I just chose to ignore it. And it's not one of those things where people say God spoke to you and he was like, hey, you down there, you be celibate until you're married. Like, it wasn't one of those conversations that I can really remember and say, oh yeah, that's when God spoke to me. It was just something that was there in my heart since day one. And I chose to ignore it, which caused me to go through some really pretty bad situations. I just followed society and what they said was the way of life. And society says that love and sex is everything. So it was harder for me to see that and have friends that followed societal ways. So I struggled for so long because my friends and everything that was around me. My friends would go on double dates. I wanted to partake in that. They'll have sex conversations, all that stuff, and I just felt left out. So I always felt like I had to be up on the game. I had to be doing the same things that they did. Things would happen that I knew that I was following the wrong path and that I should be following what God had told me all along. And when I say things happen, I mean everything. Like from guys cheating on me or just feeling used. Because when you give yourself up to a guy, you feel that way. Especially after he says deuces, it's like, that's it. You feel like you lost a part of yourself. And now you feel like you're powerless, like they took your power. And I really believe that saying when they say a girl's vagina, I'm going to be as blunt as ever, vagina holds power. And when you give up that power, you lose it. And I didn't understand that until after losing my power and feeling that emptiness inside of me. seriously, because I didn't realize how damaging it could be when you have sex with someone and it doesn't go anywhere. In college, it was the most difficult time for me because I felt surrounded by so many people that engaged in sex, so many people that were in relationships, so many people that were so wrapped around that lifestyle. And when I would tell people, "Oh, I'm trying to be celibate," they'll say, this was the kicker, and it kind of used to twist me up in the mind, and I should have known at the time that that was probably the devil speaking through them to deter me from my path. But basically, I will tell people, "Oh yeah, I'm celibate," and they'll say, "How can you be celibate with somebody and not know how the sex is?" And I'll say, "Well, I don't really care about that. It's more about getting to know that person." And they'll always say, "So you want to wait till marriage? So you're going to marry somebody? What about if his penis is small? What about if the sex is whack?" I feel like if I can't connect with you on a spiritual, emotional, and mental level, then that's my deal breaker. My deal breaker is not sex. I feel like sex can be improved, sex can be modified, but a person's character and a person's personality cannot. And I feel like that's what matters to me the most. Not thinking about the overall outcome of pleasing my God. Because at the end of the day, this life that we are living right now is temporary. So those feelings that you are having while you're having sex is temporary. Everything in this life is temporary. So I don't care about temporary things in this life. I care about everlasting life in heaven. And it took me so long to realize that. And now that I am realizing that, I struggled through this whole celibacy journey since I was having sex. And I've always known that this is the journey that God wanted me to embark on. Once I realized that, and once I really had that moment to really be one with God and really listen to what He was telling me and really say, "You know what, God, I know for a long time I've been making U-turns on you, saying, okay, I'll go," and then I change my mind. It's like, "God, I want you to guide me down the right path." Ever since then, I just feel like God has been using me. He's been using me, and I don't want to disappoint Him. And it's a lot of things in my life that I'm still working on. So, I haven't been celibate for that long. I've had my moments where I got tempted. When you tell a guy that you're celibate, two things can happen. One thing is, and this has always been my result, and after telling a guy that I am celibate, one thing is they will challenge you. They'll pretend to be supportive and all those things, but then they'll challenge you to see how true you are to yourself. The devil is working through that guy. And I never understood that, and I never really paid much attention to it. And I wish I did. First thing that can happen, a guy challenged your celibacy and tries to tempt you into giving it up. The second thing that can happen is he can really be supportive. He can really be with you. But that doesn't mean he'll join your journey. He might be supportive on the sideline, but might not want to join your journey and be in a relationship with someone that's celibate. And you can't get mad at that guy because it's your journey, not his. If you want to be in a relationship, you will have to find someone that will also be celibate with you. You can't force somebody to do something that they don't feel comfortable doing. There's a guy out there that will be celibate there's a guy out there that would join you on your journey. Don't ever give up and think that, you know what, I can't live this lifestyle because there's no guys out there that will live it with me. Because there is. Since I moved here in LA, this has been the first time in my life that I've had friends that's living the same journey as me. And it's been very inspiring. It's been very encouraging for me to continue this journey. I feel like everything happens for a reason, because throughout the whole time that I was living on the East Coast, all my friends were engaging in sex. I'm not judging my friends back at home. I love them and that's their lifestyle. I know what God wants me to do. God is using me and I'm going to be used because this is what He wants. So that's my story on why I'm celibate. And I came a long way, but I'm still not where I want to be. And if you're also struggling with your celibate journey as well, then let's join each other. Let's strengthen each other. Let's encourage each other. Because it's not going to be easy, but things that are worth it will never be easy. It's going to be a hard journey. It's going to be difficult at times, and you'll probably want to give up. But don't. You have to stay strong. And you have to just think about the long run. Think about pleasing God over any man on this earth. Think about how empty you feel after you give yourself up to a man. Just patiently wait on your God. Because you will find the person for you. If your desire in your heart is to find love, you will find it. You just have to be patient. You have to wait on your God because He's never late. He is always on time. Always.